Okay, excellent. Yes, late as usual, but once again, not really for good reason. To be honest with you, I just setback, not necessarily setbacks. Like I said, this is a learning experience. The whole fucking thing is a goddamn learning experience. A very well appreciated learning experience. Um, but I had where we left off. It had this glimmer of hope. I initially had encoded um, the the drop down menu to interact with the state box that we're using, so that you can select between guitar, bass, and amp. Um, Especially once I get those layers in there. But yeah, I had saw it working, and then okay, what? There's all kinds of confusion just started popping up as to why it would go one way and then it wouldn't go back, and just kind of going back and forth between that. And of course, asking as many questions as possible and kind of going around in circles continuously, because neither one of us could figure out exactly why or what. Something within all of that code, and trying to figure out what parameters, whatever, it just, yeah, it got overwhelming. It took a long time, and even until recently to finally say, because you don't want to go back. I hate going back, but you do. Sometimes you just go backwards, dude. Just go backwards. Do that. Go backwards. Okay. Do not feel like it's because I could have saved myself so much hassle just saying screw it, and that's what I did. I got rid of all that code, all of it, all of it. Where we were even working towards even creating like a generalized master code that I could just paste in right away and just. But no, I can only imagine if I had to sort through all of that and find anything that was wrong with what was actually going on. I would have just, yeah, it would have just made matters completely worse from there. So I just, yeah, completely blank slate, and step by step, gradually. If I'm doing something, I'm inputting the code for it as I'm going along, which is kind of what I was doing along the way. But as soon as I caught a hiccup with the HTMLs, um, and then I realized that a lot of um, the background information was important, for any of the relevant code to actually, they have to coincide with whatever names or media that you actually have stored. So if it's not actually there, it doesn't have anything to really reference, and then you're just sitting there with an unknown such and such, unknown label. So it was kind of going back and forth and making sure that all of the information, like you said, I showed you yesterday, now we've begun. Now I've begun importing the uh, the files directly, so I'm not, and that works. So now all of the, if you go and visit the site now, not only can you switch between guitar, bass, and amp, and you'll, well, like I said, nothing's actually 100% clickable now, but you can go through and change the parameters, and a lot of the information, the inputted information that needs to be there regarding anything, um, uh, regarding any of the wood that I would be using in the construction, body, tops, neck, fretboard, which that now creates its own level of intricacy, because now I'm sitting here thinking with the set neck version, obviously, I've stated before that it would be carved from a solid piece of wood. So you would essentially, um, you would get the understanding that whatever you're seeing as far as the body change, you would you would gauge that the neck would be changing similarly too. But that's not 100% either, depending on um, the paint style or what type of stylings. If you want it natural, as well, you want to be able to click and interact with that at the same time. You want skunk stripe, you want natural, you want full gloss, you know. So it kind of, now that we have those states adjusted, now we need states within those states, or now we have to add another state, and then the same way that I've just added attached the drop down menu to the previous states, we'll do that with the other versions. So once you select that model, or you go that model version, will show you either set neck or bolt-on neck, which will then go to the next state, which would show you the reverse image of of the of the of the product of the guitars, and where you would see the neck uh, and back and component and stuff like that that you can modify and update and add to. So yeah, there needs to be a reverse after we have a front, but fortunately now at this point, let's see, where was I at? Where were we at? Because I've been doing this the whole time. I slept for a little bit. I went to sleep, but then I did this, went to sleep. I woke up, started doing it again, and just literally went round in circles, trying to sit and say, okay, genuinely brilliant assistant, the one that's supposed to be replacing all of us, with all of everything, all of the access you have in your database, and you see anything wrong with this. And of course, even in the book, so the script was correct. There were no errors outside of the errors that Chrome. Word. What's the word? We would go to. What? Tell me I lost it. Was it in? Anyways, it's the tab. It's the page where the code actually translates in real time, and it will tell you if there's anything going on right then and there. And it was through that where I realized, oh, okay, this is exactly what's happening. And there was a conflict somewhere, even though the dialect, the language was correct, or let's say it was written properly. The all the punctuations and everything were in their proper place. It was, like I said, it's illustrated properly, so there was no way for it to actually isolate any errors within the coding itself. But so now, yes, all of the wood uh, to our masks. What you're seeing right now are the masks. These are the layers that are going to be used, that when the wood styles are overlaid on top, it cuts off at those places, and then you see, oh, the wood changed. You know, click a little trick. Like I said, it's basically like a Photoshop, but in an interactive Photoshop with set parameters. In or visit our other sites again, and make sure that the names coincide with the images that we have for the bridges, the hardware, and the pickups. And that would be for the bass and the guitars. And the frets. But that's, yeah, the same thing. It's all pretty much the exact same thing. Um, and I just need to input those into those CMS collections. So, and unfortunately, I'm only doing like 5 different pickup styles right now. To be honest with you, like I said, I have more time. I will do 5 pickup styles, 5 or 6 speaker variations, which that's more than enough. And or because you'll have the premium varieties too that you'll be able to mix and match. It, yeah, there you go with that. And then of course the hardwares at this point, I think we got brass, nickel. Um, I'm about to add the links page to where any of the yeah, I want to say sponsored. They're not sponsored. They're not paying. But any of the source companies that I'm utilizing for the hardware, the pickups, and the Seymour Duncan, bare knuckle. Uh, I'll include bare knuckle and DiMarzio. I have to, but Seymour Duncan's first. I'll go ahead and just input those in, so bring all that out. And the cool part about that is once all that's together connected, all I do is go back into the collection, add the bare knuckles, add the it's already preset for it to do. It will actively change that right then and there. So as I said, instead of doing all this bulk work that I'm doing ahead and with everything, making sure the prices are consistent, making sure add those, and yeah, that that should that should yeah, that should about do it. That should about do it. Fortunately, we're not going. The wood styles were the worst because I think close to 18 or 19 of those I wasn't able to use. But then from the sites that I'm sourcing, from the companies I'm sourcing from, there are already, I don't even want to bother putting in more varieties. And yeah, fortunately, that's already set up. We'll add more. Um, we can do that. So yeah, continue. I should. I'm trying to get more, but I'm trying to get better about it. I'm trying to get better about being more interactive about everything we're doing. It's not necessarily going to be the same program each time. So if you're coming expecting it, I don't do the same thing to a T exactly every day. I have a set schedule, but I don't have a routine, if that makes sense. It's pretty much unique from day to day. And I try to, this is essentially a window from this period of time to the end of exactly how things are going. So yeah, yeah, exactly. I got all of the dimensions off of this particular base. It's one of my favorites. This is kind of what. Let me just stop real quick. I just had a chance to look at it and see in the background. So yeah, perfect segue into what really. Oh my god. Hopefully, you don't go with the exact weight. I'm almost entirely certain, and I did during transport. I did get a few scrapes that I'll buff out. I need to treat it better. This is great. This is a 5 string, the first 5 string. I did, it did have other purposes, but for right now, it it stands to say that the tone, the quality, everything about it was just initially just drew me right to it. And one of the first things that I loved about it was that the neck literally does run all the way through to the bottom, connected on both sides. So you not only get the structural integrity. Oh, look at that! Look at that heel. Who could not be inspired by that? I want to show you that. Who cannot be inspired by that smooth, beautiful transition? I just had to. I was like, how do you not? And this is what's referred to as like a company brand. But even then, you can tell whoever went and put it together, this was a custom job. This is their custom shop. Rogue Base is whoever's custom shop. I can't really, I'm not going to go ahead and plug that right now, but it's whoever's custom shop. So whoever did put the work into it, put some effort into it in trying to put the wood styles together, bind it the right way. They shaved it down. They added all these extra details, even the way the pickups and the electronics are wired together. I mean, there's absolutely no buzz whatsoever. It's perfectly. It's just everything about it. I loved it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and you know using the dimensions for inspiration in general. We get um, the first five string in one Pierce Acoustics bass from those dimensions, from those exact qualities that we like from that. So we're not going to rip it off. We're not going to take the design exactly. If you can see that I have altered, tweaked it, add more modifications, more electronics, and yeah, things that I would have liked to see if I was going to customize it. That's it's good, it's great, and it's a good to source. It's good to be able to source from great, inspiring products just like that. So yeah, not disappointed in it at all. Um, and um, utilizing that, I was able to get through all of the final. Um, I mean, they were already, like I said, they were already there. I just want to show you how I got there. But now that's done. I used those dimensions to get the uh, final lengths that you would, the final cut lengths that you would need, and making sure the final cut lengths that I currently have work with um, for what I'm going for. So yeah, that's done. That part's done. That little bit of a headache's done. So we'll. Hold on, I keep saying I'm gonna share this portion. And yeah, it's not gonna be exact. We're gonna steadily. I'm still in work. I do gotta go out and do the whole investment portion of things tonight. I would be a fool not to take advantage of it, and I really do. I need to take advantage of it. I need to I need to be able to continue to live, and there's a lot of other things that need to be taken care of as well. So I can't neglect any of that. It's incredibly important. But let's see, which one should we go right into the one? Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. Try to make it more that way, right alongside every step of the way of exactly what I'm doing. I know I showed you this. Actually, you know what? Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I know I showed you this portion. Is it working? Ah, okay. Hold on. Is it work? Is it working? Okay. Okay. So hopefully it's working. It looks like it kind of is. So I've showed you, like I said, we went through all of these. Now we got to go into the because they are technically specific, entirely separate products, manufactured by another company, manufactured by yes, they are now those are now an official partner. I did get the go ahead from them. And like I said, we're gonna add their links. We're gonna add their links page real quick, so you can go through if there's any specific knobs. Already so many different, basic brass, nickel, the standard that we all kind of follow, that looks incredibly good with just exactly as is on the P1 body, both P1 and M1. I love the steel on the M1 for just for that color scheme. But anyways, yeah, I'm just going with those basic styles for right now. And if there's anything else, like I said, there will be a list box in the lower corner somewhere, and you can go ahead and write that in the dialogue and say, look, I have these in mind. I'll simply make it where you can upload an image, but that shouldn't be necessary. If you give the actual description, the name, maybe even the product number, that'll be enough. That should be okay. Don't have to make things too complicated. So we go into the knobs. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. There we go. Now we can add a field now that we have. Okay. And we have the status here. And we'll need powder coated black. Let me do that real quick. It's called red nickel. And there's no import a file here. I've got 4 different varieties. That's good. There we go. No complaints. Steel and particular. This is the painted black. It's just like it's the Rolling Stones. I don't know. Yeah, I kind of feel like they're just taking powder coated black. That makes more sense. Do they have a powder coated black? Powder coated black. Okay. And we add the field. We add our new field, and it is number. If I can price. Here's almost right for price. That's what. Okay. Go to the Geiger site. Geiger. And yeah, if it says sold out, do not be discouraged by that at all. I have direct access to every product from them. So no biggie. No biggie. It's cool. You work out, you got communication going on, you got actual fair. You know? I don't know, there's slugworth out in the background. I'm working on this. The fact that I have anybody watching this right now already makes me nervous. Ooh. Ooh, all right. Hold on. We got a little competition here. Somebody wanted to get featured as another. Oh no, Look at that. Look at that. That is so. My AI renditions are better than that. What the fuck is that? Those pickups aren't even fucking. Oh man, I gotta show you. Hold on, stop the presses. I gotta show you this shit. Hell no. Hell no. Richly? Who the fuck are you? I shouldn't even. But like I said, I'm glad that there's only a few people watching this right now because you're watching like the infant stages of everything I'm trying to practice and refine into making some of these live streams. I'm considered turning this into the Pierce Acoustics Diaries, but you know what? It is somewhat more than that. Once we get past some of this tedious BS and right into the real deal, which we got some of the stuff that I can edit together and make it, we'll present it that way. But I like the idea of doing it live. Something about it. I don't know. Those Howard Stern kind of thing. I want it. I'm doing it, bro. I'm going for it. Not exactly Howard Stern, but something similar to where it's dynamic. You don't necessarily have to have guests on necessarily. I do have my assistant that will come on periodically. Will illustrate new jams, new artists, and everything in between. And especially as I'm progressing along in my own musical whatever. I call it midlife crisis core for a reason, but it still stands with us. It's still deeply rooted. It is a part of me. I'm never gonna stop practicing. And yeah, we mastered that burnt riff. I'm confident enough to actually play it fairly quickly, but without whoa, wait. That would could be cheating. Not unless, because we have the STL stuff. I don't necessarily. I should still be able to just do the plain guitar and still. I mean, I got FL Studio. I got FL Studio. Have Audacity. We should still be able to. I still should be able to beef it up and make it sound good. There's just, if it's missing the gain, there's just something, and there is something about how it picks up while it's played too. It won't necessarily translate 100%. And if anybody, and I'm gonna openly say this, if anybody went and used AI to do it, that would guaranteed be cheating, 100%. Because I know, even though you probably uploaded the riff as fast as you can play it directly in, the computer's technically playing it at that point. So this is trying to demonstrate your skills and want as raw as possible, not clean raw, but raw. And this is raw. This is about as real as you're gonna get. Shit. Let me show this. Let me show you. What the fuck is this? And I get complaints for my renderings. See, this is the misconception. This is what you don't understand. And I'll show you here in just a second, because I'm working on my merch too. I've been working on that for a while. For everything. We got first, like I said, it started as, before I even decided to jump full bore back into Pierce Acoustics, I decided, you know what, I should probably at least have something on the side to gain some kind of equity income. So that started out from a previous experience. I'm not going to go directly into this story, but from a previous experiences. And don't act like we haven't. And especially when you're, oh my God, when you're at the gym and everybody's just all eyes on you, like, bro's heads. I get it. Mind your business or come up and talk to them. You know what I mean? Don't just sit there and stare, because shit gets weird. It really makes you feel awkward when, it's not, and you don't know what the stares can be. Do I have mustard on my shirt? You know what I mean? Is there something on my lip? I don't know. So out of that came the idea that I know I'm gorgeous, but I just like to shop. And not to, not that that's exactly saying anything. This is meant to empower everybody. You know what I mean? This was an idea that I was like, okay, this is something I know for a fact everybody can get behind when they wear it and put this t-shirt on, put this logo on, the IGS logo. I know I'm gorgeous, but I would just like to shop. Just leave me the fuck alone. Or like I said, just, come up and talk to a motherfucker. If you're going to sit there and stare, take the next step. I've been there. I've been a part of it. Just shit just got weird. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't mean to. I just couldn't help myself staring. Sometimes I get it. But damn, that shit does. And I had, like I said, just from the experience, makes for a very, very awkward situation. So just reference on that later on. But yeah, out of that, I was like, you know what? Well, shit. I'm already working on Knights of the Federation. Well, there got to be merch for that too. And I don't want to have separate stores handling all this. So now IGS is the store that handles the merch for everything. It handles the Knights of the Federation merch. There will be merch. And it handles the Pierce Acoustics merch. It also handles the Lies on Lies merch. So right now, I've uploaded or I'm working on uploading those test images so that what comes back to me works, or if they should at least communicate somehow and say, hey, your images are kind of fucked, can you make these changes? And I'll say, okay, we'll do that, and I'll know then what the set parameters are, and it'll be consistent throughout. Then I can upload everything all at once, all of the images that I've been working on for the past 3 months, and yeah, we'll have that. We'll have the Knights on Knights of the Federation, Knights on Lies. Oh, shit. I don't know what that's gonna lead to, but we'll have the Knights of the Federation merch, we'll have the Pierce Acoustics merch, the Lies on Lies merch, and of course, what has already been long-standing. I know I'm gorgeous, but I just like to shop. The IGS merch, located at the IGS store through Shopify, a trusted location. They do that print on demand. I was initially starting to do that. If you go back to any of my 2020 uploads on Facebook, especially, it's kind of only where I was at the time. But if you go and look, I was initially starting that too. It was gonna coincide. They coincide. The two go hand in hand. You can't feel good about sending a guitar to somebody if you don't send a T-shirt or a sticker or something with it. You know, like, I think that's just kind of cool. If you send like an extra bonus along with it, like, oh shit, fuck, you sent it, hell yeah. Something along that. I don't know. I always thought that was kind of cool. Some include sticker packs. Some are starting to include customized stands. Some were including, the tool packs that you need if you have Floyd Rose kits on there. Um, shit like that. It's the amount of time we think this battery is not included. Oh no! Oh my god, I hate you so much, Tina. I hate you so much. I love to hate them so much. When they sit there and tell you, yeah, you get a free gift. Thanks a lot. I'm wondering why they wanted to give it away for free. Always question everything, my friends. Question everything, including Timu. Especially having somebody on the ends that feels like he's like he wants to give up on life because of how much those products have overtaken. He works directly in the delivery department, so he sees nonstop just that. No more, and it's just like for some reason they dump it in this like massive downpour. I don't know if I don't know if he can describe it. Maybe I can do that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's what we can do. I'll call him up. I won't call him up right now. He's probably fucking working. But what does we do? Call him up. Get you. Yeah. Fuck. Hold on. Let me get the comments back on the screen too. Want to be able to get that. So that's active, and I'll be able to see everything that's going on right away. Right away. And yeah, make it more interactive that way too. You know what I mean? I'll give you guys a call. If I got your number, fuck it. I'll give you guys a call, and yeah. And as I go along, if I start getting more numbers from other people, that way we can get them directly on, and we can get there. Yeah, hey, that's a great idea. That's what I'm talking about. It's the birthing process. It's the creative process. I'm refining this now. We're figuring this out as we go along. So that would be a really cool way to do it. That way you can hear their story on it too. I mean, you can get my perspective for the most part, but it's gonna be kind of shaky. I don't experience that directly, so I wouldn't know right offhand. But anyways, back to on where oh my god, where we were going. Here we go. So I just got to the site, and now here we go. Like I said, look at these knobs. Look at that. It's like that Celtic Tree of Life type thing. It's like I can't go through. I kind of can slowly but surely, but for every version that they have, I mean, we might be getting into the wood styles at that point too. And to do that, it's like so. It'd just be easier if there's a particular one. Just get the item number, then the name, drop it in the list. You know what I mean? Outside of that, I'm 100% certain. I'm 100% certain that I'm kind of hitting on the mark where most of us are going to want to go with the standard brass, nickel, steel for now. You know, if you want something, it's always custom. If you want to go directly through their site, like I said, and get it later on and just attach the knobs, there you go. I like doing that. I like having extra knobs that I can vary from show to show, so that it doesn't look exactly like the same guitar each time. You can sort of say, "Hey, look how many guitars I have, guys." You know, stuff like that. And of course, check out the bridge with the rollers. It's so easy. You know what I mean? Like, this was something that was originally, it was conceptualized. This was nothing new. We were all thinking about it. These guys did it first. That's why I was like, you know what? Fuck it. More power to you guys. Because I was gonna want to contract a company. Some of this metalwork at this point for me is so refined. It's not necessarily there's a lot of casting and shit that goes into this. Um, there's a process. So I'm very happy to see that there's a company that did it first and did it very well. And now all I had to do is create a head plate, a headstock plate that mimicked some of that. Yeah, patent pending on that, motherfuckers. Illicit. I'm not holding it back. Patent pending on that too. And you know who you are. You know who you are out there. I know you watching. You've been watching my shit for a while. I cannot believe the exact same color scheme and so close. It's not identical, but so close to the exact same headstock style, which we're all kind of on that already. I mean, there's so many, but so close. I mean, so close. I want to spit on somebody. You know what I mean? That's like, dude, you're crossing certain lines, and get me to a certain point. I'll put them on blast. I screenshotted everything. I'm very good at holding on to evidence, you know. So I went through and I definitely did my homework to make sure it wasn't just a glitch, a fluke, or whatever. No, it just coincidentally it started out there and about a certain point. There is no frame of reference that he can, because time and date stamps are very hard to mimic, and especially when you're uploading to social media. Yeah, it's it speaks for itself. So yeah, I saw it. It started at a certain point, and prior to that was incredibly funny. Is that he creates this video beforehand that shows all of the details and everything. He speaks like this. I'm just doing it in person. All of the details and everything that goes into the creation and functionality have been refined and defined time and time, all this stupid shit. And illustrating that, saying that all that time and hard work went into this particular creative niche that corresponds with everything before that, everything before that. But you went and settled on, okay, this is what I refined and defined, and then for some reason you decide to change your mind. Some reason you decided to change your mind after that. Okay. And then not only that, afterwards he decides to go with the exact same color scheme. I thought that was just incredibly bizarre. And I don't know. Like I said, I'll put it side by side. I'll bring it up here eventually once I'm ready to, that he's no longer a threat. That I'll go ahead and illustrate that, and I'll leave it for the viewers to decide, is it or isn't it? Just like I did with Nickelback and Prong. I'll leave it to y'all to decide and compare. This is just my personal opinion, but it is my personal opinion that motherfucker tried to steal my shit. That's why I was just like, I had to jump on and start patenting it right away, because I knew that motherfucker was nowhere near that. So the design patents are in, everything in, ready to go, and yeah, fuck you on that, bro. Thinks because he lives outside the fucking United States, get past. And he did slightly. He changed it slightly, but it's so close with the color scheme. You're like, bro, just because you thought I was no. There are rhymes to my reason right now. There are reasons why I'm not projecting everything. Everything's a learning process. If you don't stop and just assess, and much of what I've been doing for the last 6 years have been stopping and assessing many of these companies and watching everything they're doing in a good way. And that's why I'm promoting so many of the ones where I found just like, dude, there are individuals out there that need note, but there are other individuals out there that just kind of think that because that you look like a wounded animal, that they can come up and take a nibble, not knowing you're coiled up, ready to strike. Anyways, that is already there, and so that's why I already knew exactly what I needed to do to, it was already there. They had already done this particular group had already done this for me, so I knew all of what I needed to do to adjust what my designs were to make it fit and suit what they have going already. And then it also inspired more ideas from that we're going to be working hand in hand. So they'll be developing those products so that I can refine my techniques. And oh my God, please land here. Please land here and look at this. That cannot be. Look at those humbuckers. Look how thin. That can't be. They might be, unless if they're custom made to kind of mimic a single coil humbucker thing. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm a fucking, but I can tell you right now that is an AI generated image. Largely because look at that selector switch compared to the knobs and the input jack, and then their own hardware, I'll go back. I'll check the set. I'll right now. We'll go back to my own renderings. This is what I tell you. You have to tweak them after the fact. It's not going to get it exact. And look, they got that bullet knob up there too. That was really cool. Casing knob. Um, I love that. I love it. It's fantastic. There's so many varieties, so many verses. They got these jade based, just so many more styles than I can input in directly right now. But I had to stop and look at this because they've also told me that they, certain product. If you want to feature a product, you can upload the image, and we will feature that directly. So what I'm thinking, what they did is, and this is what I wanted. Um, I'm gonna for that. I don't want an AI render. I want the actual thing. But I'm thinking what they did is perhaps somebody sent their version, sent the actual photo, and it's possible who's ever managing the website did this. But I just like, whoa, what? We'll talk about that because I do not want my products to look anything like that. It should be almost exactly what I give you, and that's why now I know. I send them a transparent PNG. Already removed that background already. That's an interesting design too. It's like Strandberg Telly Paul fusion. That's a good way to go. That's a good way to go. Yeah, I say that's an interesting design. And then with that resin, yeah, on the edge, get to save the live edge, and create a unique design at the same time. So transparent. I wonder if it glows. Okay, I'm curious. I'm just curious. But yeah, maybe mine would glow. Mine would glow. But I had to stop and look. I was like, whoa, wait, am I really? I'm criticized like crazy for some of this. And I'm like, that's good. If at a quick glance, I'm like, okay, that's nice. Guitar month starts here, but But after I stopped for a minute and just being so immersed in it right now, I see all the little details that I would have to stop and refine, which I kind of did. You know, for the website, you go, and it's everything's proportional. You have to, if it's not, you have to tweak it yourself to make it that way. And anyways, yeah. So we're here, shot by the category, and we're gonna go ahead to headless guitar bridges to start. This is technically defined as a headless guitar, considering how I've designed it to function in this to be installed on the bridge. And what's cool about these particular, the pieces are interchangeable. They actually have some components that, and like I said, just because it says sold out, do not think that I can't get access to that. Yeah, I have confirmed direct access to that, and I can buy it in bulk if I need to. Only if I need. I'm you know, one step at a time. We'll gauge it. I'm kind of counting on everything being progressive. That's why I'm not trying to bite off more than I can chew at once. That's the smart way to go about it. So many people are just, I don't know. You could start your niche, and that's what I was initially going to go with, just the IGS side shop, and then that could have been like the nice little side hustle that I could have started. But I've already done Pierce Acoustics so established already to not go through and fulfill everything I've already. It would just be an injustice to myself and just what's how do I want to say that? Just in general, you know, it's just what would be the reason the reason for living in general. Well, okay, let me not say that. No, I have many other reasons. If I have four very good reasons right now to keep going, and that's why there's more purpose. You know, there's more. Uh, you know, just for the sake of purpose, there is more at stake here than, you know, just trying to establish a business. You're trying to establish um, a, a future, you know, and a clean and healthy future at the same time. Like I said, it's not just guitars. I have the everything rendered in already pre. I had the HHO generator patented and ready to go before I ever even stepped into the guitar field. That was like, okay, Pierce Acoustics. Yeah, I know there's a lot of guitar competition, so let me jump into something that nobody's really competing with at this moment. So that's already ready to go. I just really need to buckle down and um, source the materials and put it together. It's right there. All the dimensions are there. I have an item list of everything I would need. So it's already just it says the shopping list is there. I just need to invest in the materials to put the first prototype together and refine it and get that done. And I have set until September to do that. And yeah, we are well on the way. If I could just get this shit done and over with, because then the pre-orders can start, and that would help go a long ways to making that deadline move forward in time much more. So right now we have the WT003 in mind. We have the WT001 already. You've seen this in every. This is it. The WT001 has been dropped down to $60.99. Now, how do I know? Do I know how long that's going to be? Because it's saying flash sale. I know that that's kind of been like that all month, so I can probably say that it's going to continue on through the month of July at least. But I don't know. I don't know. I want to sit here and I want to know exactly what's fair, but then $61. That's a pretty decent. That's a you know that's pretty. You just went from 70 to 61, so that's a nice little chunk. Then we have the WT002. That's featured. You see that in the introduction of this very live stream. And that, tell me if that's not to scale. Just saying. I'm just like, bro, come, guys, we're working together on this, man. Don't make me look bad. I like what you did, but if I give you an image to work with, use that image. I'm swear to God, I will have refined it already. I want to make sure it's the right resolution, the right aspect ratio, and then of course is the right file type, so that everything you just put it in, just make it work. Okay, you just make it work. That'll work. That'll work. I don't know. For some reason I started. Then here we have the machines, the version that you see in the here. Hold on. Okay. So stop that screen. We'll start this screen so you can see right here. Yes, if you were to go to the Pierce Acoustics site already, see here's the base image. That's exact. Wait, fuck. It's not sharing it now. It just immediately transfers over to the page. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right. Now that, so we're both on the same page. Yes, here we go. This is the exact bridge that we're looking at that I just showed you, the bridge style. And then if you go here to the guitar section, what the hell? There we go. Oh, it's because we're doing so much at once. It's gonna be. Yeah, I haven't done this during the live stream yet, but scroll. There we go. You see the WT001 in all its glory, exactly, exactly as it should be. The humbuckers in. Never mind. So yeah, it'll submit the transparent PNG, and of course, with the right textures too. Anyways, yeah. So we'll get that. We'll make sure that that's updated. That needs to be updated. I'll make sure we'll see. Yeah, that's updated. I'll get back in touch with them. All right. So yeah, as I said, yeah, you can go through and boom, click, and yeah, you go through each one, and it's like I said, as I not that I haven't rendered, I have already rendered a fair amount of layers, base layers for the amp style. It's just there are slight complexities going on with that particular image, and I'll show you here in just a second as to what's making that a little bit more trivial than I'd like. But I've got a lot of the base layers already. I just need to go ahead and drag and drop them in, and they're good to go. I just felt like one, if I do hit a certain blockade that's getting somewhat frustrating, I will kind of continue on around that for just a little bit so that everything's still flowing. I'll divert around it, and with enough pressure and time, yeah, it'll be over and done with. There's only 2 more layers that I need to render from that, and the isolation part is fine tuned. It's refined. I have to stencil draw those fucking outlines out, because even the AI is having a difficulty just. What do you mean? Is it this one or this? I don't know. You tell me. But yeah, so those are already. Oh, you just got to see all the layers. Yeah, that's so fucking cool. All at once. Only because there's lag. You wouldn't initially see that right away. But yeah, because there's lag, um, you got to see all of it. You even got to see the truss rod route. That was cool. All right. So yeah, all of those are linked to all their respectable collections. I just now need to update the collections for the hardware, the pickups, and the bridge, and do that for the bass and the guitar for right now. And we'll go ahead and move back into the layers for the amp, so I can drag and drop those in and associate drop down menus for each of those layers, which I already kind of have. Like I said, if you went to the amp category, you can see all the categories are already there, and they're already connected to their respective collections. What would I have to do at this point? Yeah, no, I would have to. Hmm, yeah, I guess I just have to drop those in there and then connect them to their various HTML components, which those would be the invisible layers that you can't see right now, which would make the wood options change, or the bridge options change, or then the knob and selector switch options change with that, and then the bridge pickup or the net pickup change when you go and you select those options, and vice and right down the line. You get the idea. So, and yeah, you see that customized head plate, and we got that complement. So there's rollers on both ends now. Those strings are free of any tension, which that was always something we kind of did. You always want to kind of, the first thing you always learn to do is to modify the nut and just give it just a little bit more clearance, not more depth, just a little more clearance so the string can breathe. And a lot of times we'd even put group lubricants. What my predecessor, my my mentor, my guitar mentor, the one that tutored me initially in guitar, would always like, and also in his construction. I'll go into that detail later because I always, I think I did tell that story. I did about star guitars, about going up into the Sam Ash room, and they would one of the tricks they would do is take a graphite pencil, because graphite's a great lubricant, and they would just draw it in, and you would see me every time I change my strings. I would always draw in pencil along the nut, and it would be a good way that you kind of relieve. But this is the best way to really, if there's no stress on it, and it just moves as the strings move as well. um, uh, and yeah, it's a very refined, very 21st century idea that I really love about this. And you can see where the those Allen uh, bolts would come out. You put the strings in, tension around that, and you go, there you go, you clip. Actually, it comes, hold on, my bad, I'm sorry. The string goes in through the tuner knob, caught right here in through there's a hole right here at the very end. So the string comes out up through here, and then you would clip it off where your respective uh, length, and then you go ahead and seal it off there and fine tune it here, making sure that everything's set to zero before you do, and you're good to go. You should have more than enough tension to get up to where you need to go. Just make sure, like you said, you're gonna want to. What I'll do is I'll make sure that you know the right length to cut it to before you need to. So don't even worry about that. But yeah, nice custom, and we can powder coat that to match whatever paint scheme we have too. So that's not a big deal. Do not worry about that either. So I'm keeping it in brass. Brass is, to me, I don't know. It's the roots. From what I found out, it's healthy for some reason. Bacteria do not grow on this, and the more varnish you get, not only do you get the aesthetic qualities from this, but you also get a healthy antibacterial layer on that. So if we're talking about preventing the spread of disease, which if you're going to be in public places, let's consider this. Yeah, go with brass. Rough, raw, rowdy brass. All right, so moving back on to what we were just doing and what we need to be doing. Go ahead and stop that screen. Go back to this screen. There we go. Okay. Make sure it is being shared. Add it to our stage. Mhm. And go back to the same page. Okay, so it says remove, so we're there. All right, so yeah, and now we're with you, and you saw the prices yourself. I'm making these up, like adding a tiny bit of labor because you're not exactly. I'm putting it on and refining it, positioning it ever so slightly for you in that way. So I feel like, the that counts as hourly labor too, technically, depending on how long it takes to, position. If it is the spring, the tremolo system, that's gonna take a little bit. So, like I said, $20. Yeah, we're good to go from there. And yes, you should. Oh shit! Oh, I should have showed you, but you can see those holes at the end from this perspective, where the string would slide in and out from those components, and yeah, it would stop, so you don't have to cut the balls off. Sometimes it just comes out before you even a chance to understand what you're about to say. Don't cut the balls off, dude. No, dude, that is so wrong. I can't even begin to describe it. I think that we'll reserve that for a completely different discussion. But yeah, you don't have to cut the balls off. You just really have to cut it to length, as we're already used to doing, which is really cool. And that's the same for the tremolo too. The 001 and the 002 have similar functionalities. One is a tremolo version of the other, and then of course for our 7 and 8 string versions, there are fanned multi-scale versions, and yeah, the 003, that version. Hold on, that's I think that, yeah, if the exact same way, the exact same way. So they all function almost the exact same way, and for me, some of the most user friendly. I picked some of the most user friendly. Some of them you do have to, you know, what? Do you? No, no, very user friendly, very user friendly. You don't have to clip anything unnecessarily and try to gauge your guess. So that's one thing I do like about it. Do I think? I'm not gonna say it. I don't know. I mean, it's a great tremolo. It's a great tremolo system for what it is. And like I said, if there are any other hardware styles that you prefer in particular, yeah, feel free to jot that down, and we'll go ahead and make that happen too. Because there's always a way. Hmm. Yes, yes, there is there will be knob versions. Don't think that there won't be knob versions. I have designed another headstock shape as well. Just keep that between us for right now until I'm ready to reveal that. One has been revealed on the Pierce Acoustics site. If you do go to see the bass, actually, shit, it has been revealed, hasn't it? Son of a bitch. Let's go ahead. You know what? Right now, let's just get it out there, out in the open. If you want to go to the Pierce Acoustics site and go and see what the tuned, you go to the bass section and you'll see that's the headstock that I'm going with. It's basically an extended variation on the headstock that I'm already, the headless headstock version that I'm going with right now. Um, More refined. And yeah, we'll be able to make that work with that particular headstock. And we'll go ahead and add that to our repertoire when we're ready to define those. Actually, we are ready to define those parameters, aren't we? All right, we'll finish our collections first. That's first and foremost. We'll finish these final collections first, and then I'll go ahead and import those last image layers for the amp and for the what we'll call the P2. No. Mm-mm. The P2, P1 and P2 will be the distinguished names we'll use for the bolt-on and sec neck options. So you have the P1 and P2 for for a different headstock altogether. The P3. Maybe, yeah, fuck it. We should do 33 and a third. P P33 and a third. Um, shit. I don't know. I gotta think that one through. I feel like it should it should have a similar name, but it should be fairly more. Fuck it, P3, right? P2.5. Yeah, yeah. Let's change that. Let's change that. I'm gonna change it to the P2.5. I like that better. I don't know. For some reason, I like that better. Feel free to make your remarks, whatever, if you feel a certain way. I'm cool with that. I mean, just open it up, but then I'm like, you know, at the end of the day, the P2.5 will be the tuned version. Yes, there we go. Because P1, P2, P3, it's just too straightforward, isn't it? And being an extreme fan of media and the media arts, I have to stop. I almost went P2 and a third, P33 and a third. P2.5 is fair though. It's just still professional, still comedic. Keeps it right up my alley. All right, so we'll have option the other select to a tuned version, and then we'll that that should fall. No, it shouldn't. Should it? It might fall. What? Shit. What? Hmm. That should still fall under the hardware category. If I define each parameter, and that's kind of how it works, is each parameter does have to, yes, and that's another thing you haven't seen. Each in the code itself, and it already started with a couple. Each one's to, it doesn't necessarily know how to read English, so to speak. So it reads it by its URL. So you have to, if I define each one by its URL, it should still work. I shouldn't have to create a custom uh, tuner drop down menu. Let's just include it in the hardware menu. I'll add it all the yes. So we'll include that in the hardware options as well. It won't just be Brett. Why the fuck did I really just say brass, nickel, and steel? Guys, come on, work with me, man. I'm missing vital minerals and nutrients right now. Step in and say, bro, what the fuck are you thinking? Okay, so if we shop by category, we go to guitar tuners, or we'll have to go over to guitar knobs, wood knob. Oh, they got plastic knobs, wood knob. I'll stick with some of the base metal knobs for right now, and then I'll go with this. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. So we got metal knobs and steampunk. If you're into any kind of mechanics, that is so cool. All right. So where's our standard metal control? Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. Looks like they even have the couple. Oh, push pull knobs. Hmm. Wow, they even have iron cross knobs. That's kind of cool. Kind of fits. I mean, it's more of a compass than a cross. I just say that it's a symbol that you'll find everywhere. Um, the Eye of Horus is also there. That's interesting. Oh, here we go. Here we go. The CKB003. There we are. Yes. I knew they were there. Okay. So hold on. Hold on. We have black, which I can only assume is powder coated. A lot of times this is done in a powder coating. Just it gives you durability. It's not paint per se. And then they say gold, but I know that's not gold, so we'll say brass, nickel, or the chrome. Okay, we'll call it chrome, whatever. And rainbow. Wait, I just saw one for steel. Where's the other one? What? Okay, here we go. Why would you not have options for that? Why would you not have the steel option? They have every option but the steel option. But I see it there. It's right there. Hold on, I'll show you. Hold on. See, this is what I'm basing everything off of right now. You guys got to make it. And I want to make sure, yeah, I mean, that is the right name designation, but still, I want to make sure we'll still be able to get it. Okay, let's see. Stop the screen. Stop the presses. Add this. Add that. God. Okay. There we are. Oh, there we are. Make sure we link it properly. Add it to our stage. And boom, yes. So you see, they're all there. They're all represented. I wasn't really gonna throw the rainbow in there. I didn't even really call it rainbow, but why not? Why not throw the rainbow in there too? If there are five, then yeah, fuck it. That one threw me a curve. I had seen up to this point those knobs, plus many others, but okay, and yeah, not overly bad. Ooh, can you have combos with them? You can do combos in the cart too, so that's cool. That's what I know about this. Okay, here's if I go to pick on, hold on, it's 3Ps. I'm still only what? Now you're confusing me. You're confusing me, guys. Because if we go right after it, it's in the, it's right there. You know the one I want. That's the one I want. You know what? Because it does. You're gonna have to specify because it's not. They are technically all the CKB 003. So we'll go CKB 003 brass chrome or nickel. You know, it could be chromium. I don't know. I doubt it, but maybe it could be. But yeah, it go chrome, black, gold, and where's the steel? Where, guys, come on. Where is the steel? Hmm. It almost makes it. Maybe just look on the next page. Maybe you never know. Sometimes it's high somewhere else. They there's so if you got a website like this with so many products, I'm going to be 100%. It is judging by somebody coming from somebody that's going through this personally. I can tell you, it's a bitch. I'm not gonna think so. I'm entirely disappointed. There, it's you even forgot or overlooked it. That can happen. So what I do is the fact that I do know they have it, even though I can't click on the option, but through the industry, through the connection that we have, I'll go ahead and if you want steel, I'll reach out. I'll say, yo, I'm noticing that. That's another thing that okay. So I do have another email that I have to go ahead and send, and part of this will be attached in the email, suggesting, hey, I know you have these particular styles. This is something I'm interested in having myself. Is it still currently in stock? And if it's not, well, for right now, it'll be a draft, and then once it is, we'll publish it. So, all right. So CKB 003. right next to it. We're gonna have to put that right there. Okay. What? What? Uh-oh. I froze it, guys. Too much rock and roll again. We haven't even begun doing any of the rock and roll. Haven't really got engaged any of the rock and roll stuff in the background. I figured I'd give us a little bit of break today too. Like I said, I'm not doing everything the exact same way. I liked some of the way the audio levels are now. The way I have the microphone positioned and everything really works. There we go. Just needed a minute to catch up. We'll put these. There we go. Just go ahead. Take advantage of copy and paste while you can, you know. There we go. Rent it. The hell is? Okay, there's key commands that I don't even know. No, oh, it should have been shift, not control. Oops. Okay. Now I know. There we go. Click. B. Parentheses. There we go. And I gotta say powder coated black. Control B. Parentheses. There we go. Done. All right, so now those are there. Let's go ahead and associate their price tag, and they should one price tag, $6.49, which with the cost of labor, how long would it take me to put those knobs on? You know what? We might cut it in half. You know, how long would it take me to professionally place these knobs? Okay, wearing gloves. Okay, so that's more material cost that you got to factor in on this now, guys. Okay, but yeah, let's see. We'll be wearing gloves professionally. But yeah, it can't take that long. So we'll cut that in half. We'll cut the labor cost in half for that, considering it's just If it's just knobs, yeah. And if we, each hardware component is, will be uniquely, for however much labor that it takes. So yeah, if the tuners technically should take about the same amount of time. It shouldn't take more than 30 minutes to install tuners professionally. If it's already, if the holes are open, everything's exposed, everything's pre-drilled. But then again, am I counting the time it takes to? No, this is just for the hardware, not for the hardware installation. Wait, should it be for hardware installation too? Yeah, technically, because I haven't factored that in anywhere else. I did the body sculpting, but I never did, drilling the holes for the hardware too. Okay, so let's hold on. Okay, rightly so. I gotta add another half an hour on that to drill the fucking holes, because that's critical. That's crucial. That is a stage, and that is gonna take some time. And if I factor that into the hardware component itself, we keep it specific to each process, it won't get overlooked or overwhelmed anywhere else. It'll stay specific to each stage of the process. So we'll say to install the knobs, that includes the electron. That includes the electronics. No, does it? No, hold on. No, we'll just you're gonna want to maybe customize the electronics. No. We'll stick with one. You saw the electronics I'm sticking with right now. We got the Emerson push pulls. I'll tell you the exact model number, and we'll just go ahead and throw that onto the finished cost with the other electronics, because there are other electronic boards and circuits and stuff like that have to go in. and that's not necessarily customizable. That's pretty much defined. It's either probably you want it or you don't. But I have to go and say that you'll probably want it. You're gonna want it. We'll make that a set standard. To be honest with you, just to keep things simplified. You can be what I can do is like if you don't want it, go ahead and link that in the list and say I just want um, standard electronics. You know, the basic electronic, the most basic electronics you can put into it. Um, and yeah, then we'll go ahead and we'll factor the price and adjust that right then, and that way I can give you a proper invoice. That's the only way I can think of, because that's holy fuck, dude. To sit there and say, "Oh yeah, the electron." No, no. We'll do the time it takes to drill the hole. You know, to install the hardware, which would include drilling the hole, inserting the push the pots, you know, twisting that in, and then installing the knob itself. You know what? No. Yeah. 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 Yes. No. Yes. Just the hole. You see. You see why most people want to automate this whole fucking process. Unfortunately, we're nowhere even near being able to do that. And those that have, it's just good luck. They're not. It's definitely not. It's not a market that I'm trying to jump into. It works for other things. Just it's not going to work for this. Okay, so we'll do the time it takes to drill the hole and then insert the knob. Right? Now, see, it works if I'm saying time it takes to drill the holes and insert the tuners. But if I have to also put you know what? Fuck it. We'll include the time it takes to put the pots into. You know what? That count. You know what? Yeah. And then we'll just factor in the cost of the electronics themselves to the overall price after the fact. So that way, the labor to install the electronics are still accounted for, regardless. Yes. Okay. So fuck it. We're going back to that full hour, guys. I'm sorry. Considering all of that together, yeah, at least the full fucking hour. Shouldn't take that one. Shouldn't. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. It shouldn't take a full hour to drill the holes. Then install the. Yeah, we'll call it a full hour. We'll call it a full hour. I'll call it. Fuck it. Call it a full hour. It's done. If it's anything more than that, and I'm sure it's going to be, fuck it. I think that's reasonable enough as is for yeah, it's more than reasonable enough. And that, like I said, each one of those are all technically the same component, just different stylings. So we'll include that. All of that is going to be the exact same. There we go. Okay. And we just copy and paste. Copy. Okay. Let's Control V. Control V. Oh shit, we were gonna do the rainbow one too, right? Fuck yeah. Yeah, we gotta do the rainbow one. Yeah, we're all inclusive. Don't think I'm not including the rainbow. I don't. I got nothing against rainbows. I just wouldn't have called it that rainbow. I don't know. What does that really refer to? Because that's what happens when you heat metal a certain way. Then you get those little crystals on the outside. It's almost like it rusts, but maybe I don't know. Maybe it varies. It could be rainbow. Maybe that's just one part of the spectrum. So we'll call that rainbow. CKD003. Rainbow. There we go. All right, and control V. There we go. Now that's all of them: brass, nickel, steel, powder coated rainbow. Let me change nickel to chrome. be more accurate. If it is chromium, the time we believe, but it could be chromium. It could be chromium. Okay, steel and brass. It's brass. It's not gold. It could be gold plated. All right, and click here. So it's now saved. And yes, there we go. Move this. Got to move this. Got to do this. Shake that body. Shake that body. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Right back to where I am. Yeah, we're obviously fucked up because we're nearing. We're nearing the tonight. But that being said, the progress is made now. For being able to switch back between those pages, I was able to confirm that those results were working with that tactic that I utilized yesterday. Made all of it go so. And I'm gonna tell you that if it probably does, I probably find something on YouTube for some of this shit. But I mean, I have direct access to a database. I can ask any question. Really, no, kind of finding a needle in a stack of needles, in a room full of needles. So, yeah, I don't believe there's any image here. Okay. Should we add an image? The image itself. That come on. That's done. Base knobs. Let me double check. They should. They might not actually. They might not. Hold on. They should. The knob. Yeah. Yeah. There's just a few more of them. But yeah, they are typical. They are the exact same knobs. So what we're gonna do? Let's okay, it says. I guess this says high end. And what is this? Low end? What? Um, that might need to definitely include both of these then, because this is pretty fucking cool. I keep going back and forth between pages, guys, but it moves fast. Hold on, it moves faster than I can. It's not necessarily on it. Not everything's. So yeah, hold on. Yeah, we gotta feature both of those. This one should be a slightly smaller diameter. It should. Peek. Definitely nearing it. Definitely nearing it. I'm already ready to take a break already, but goddamn, dude. being done with it would be the break that I need. And of course, having this all loaded up, you know. Come on.